44th hour of Adventurers Wanted Rebellion. My name is Leo. I will be your game master this morning. This is not technically a relaxed performance, although we do still have a relaxed attitude to sound and movement from the audience for the benefit of those that would struggle to stay silent or still for an entire hour. The lights are going to stay just like this, but there may well be some loud noises, might there not, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we are. Whoa! There we go. Boom.
My laptop was on mute.
The laptop was on mute. There we go.
They're all mute.
And there should be some mood music going on as well. I really like the mood music for Oak and Bramble. I look forward to hearing it again. What on earth is this? Well, oh no! Please.
Toads for a fair.
I'm losing it, guys.
Come on.
Last hour of the day.
Good.
Last hour.
Sorry, Twitch chat. Here is Naomi, people in the room. She is wonderful. If you need anything, catch her eye. What is this? This is a tabletop role-playing game. That means the four people on the left and right of me control individual, unique characters in a fantasy setting. As the game's master, I control the fantasy setting. The control is a little loose today as my hand struggles with the wheel, but to interact with one another, we use dice, the most commonly used being the D20. High rolls are better, and low rolls are usually hilariously catastrophic, as we've seen. Natural 20s usually mean it's a critical success, and ones usually mean it's a critical failure. Excuse me. Oh, no, it's going away. Okay, good. I thought I had to sneeze there for a second.
Respect.
Why don't I hand over to our players and we can meet their characters? On my right, please tell us your name.
Yeah, I'll start, don't worry.
Yeah.
My name is Bex. I am playing Thatchy Moon. Thatchy is a orc ranger. They use the they-them pronouns. Currently, Thatchy is very old, has been aged quite dramatically over the last 3 hours of playtime, and is dealing with the consequences of facing, being irritated at someone, which they're not really used to.
I am Tom. I use he, him pronouns. My character is Evan. She uses she, her pronouns. She is an Aasimar paladin, a sort of divine demi-angel that has been created to fulfill a certain purpose by her deity, Deriland. That purpose is to do with purifying the victims of this rather corrupting ore, which, yes, in the last hour they did an awful lot of that. But she also has been rapidly aged, though as she's a sort of goddish, angelish being, it's not really clear on what level she can age, but her appearance, she's gone from the age of 60 to about the age of 110. So, yeah, it's fun to be her at the moment. And she, too, is quite conflicted in how certain people have behaved recently.
Oh dear, Sandor, I feel a lynching coming.
Bring it.
We will wait.
I'm Vic. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character, Fidget, who is a wood elf ranger. But I say she's a wood elf, but she's been raised from a young age by a family of gruns, which are small, poisonous, colourful, chaotic frog-like creatures. She has aged as well, but she was dead at the time, so she didn't really notice. And it hasn't really changed how she looks because she's an elf.
She's an elf, yeah.
Yeah.
They age slowly.
She is quite sad about the tree because they were kind of friends, but also not really because it was a dick.
We've all got those friends.
Yeah.
We have, haven't we?
And she is not that annoyed at Sandor because she gets doing things impulsively which sometimes go wrong.
I'm Richard. I am playing Sandor Blackmore, the human sorcerer, which is he, him for both of us. Sandor was a youngish gentleman from a line of inadvisable magical experimenters. I mean, totally well-advised magical experimenters. He was born out his family heritage, it would seem. And is now in his early 60s, which he's a little worried about, being a human and all. And is a little confused how he got into the situation of fighting the tree after we seemed to have talked it around and then Fidget started attacking it. So
I'm sure we'll discuss all of that in the coming hour. The characters that we've just met are all members of a rebellion which have been enslaved for the last 5 years by a mysterious cult. made to mine a mysterious ore, which they are currently trying to purify over time by shoveling it into a tree and using the tree's energy to sap away the evil, leaving what will presumably be a refined green crystal, which can be used as a magical sort of enhancer battery type thing. They've just managed to succeed in all of that. And they are left with a small pile of the ore left, with their allies, the 3 elves, Kerhim, Wisatris, and their daughter Elassie, all stood shaking off sort of the after effects of a lightning bolt which Sandor cast, which affected them all.
I think Thatchy is going to approach the tree and see if they can maybe find a piece of the ore that has been fully refined, if there is any available, to take back to show everyone back at the main town.
Roll an investigation check for me.
19.
So you managed to sort of make a crack in the pile of ore that you've shoveled into the side of this tree, and you can see deep down inside, you can't see any of the green glow that would belie the presence of refined ore. Roll a nature check for me.
12.
Maybe it's not been enough time yet.
I would like to go up to the tree and sort of put my hands on it. I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, but it will all come back.
There is no response.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at the pile of ore, the remaining ore, to sort of gauge how much there is.
So the pile is maybe 2 feet tall, maybe 3 or 4 feet wide. There's quite a bit of ore left there.
In comparison to what I've seen go into this tree?
Maybe another tree's worth?
Okay.
I'll be looking at my now presumably leather-spotted hands.
Yeah, can I get a wisdom saving throw just to see how well you've taken this psychologically?
That seems unlikely. It's a 10.
What would you say the DC should be for that, Richard?
If you suddenly, right now, had
Yeah,
another
if
30
you
years
suddenly
on
right
you,
now-
what would you do?
He's not happy about it.
No, okay. just let's bear that in mind in the role playing. Yeah. The Chewinga come along to the pile of ore, Evan, where you're standing, and while you look, they all start picking up the ore and walking off again in almost a uniform march through the forest towards, presumably, another one of these spirit trees.
You know, I really thought the purified stuff would be safe to use. Never known.
We told you it wasn't safe.
I even said as much. I do not even know what this is, and I told you not to mess around in that dimension. Says Kerhim.
Well,
Whatever taint was in it had been moved. It was clearly an arcane source of energy. I could feel the power of the weave through it.
Yes, so could we.
That's why we did not use it.
The only thing that is clear is that we do not fully understand it. None of us, clearly. So, we have survived. Our new friends appear to have somewhere to take the rest of this ore. I suggest we follow them to make sure they get into no mischief with it.
Yeah, they're completely ignoring you. They're just getting on with their
I
day.
would start following.
No, do you need help? Have I just determined yes?
Roll an intelligence check.
Yeah, I'm super clever. That's a 4.
That's a 4.
Yeah.
Huh?
Okay. Do this for yes, and this for no. Oh yeah. Okay. Turn around clockwise for yes and counterclockwise for no.
What's a clock?
They needed our help before. I am not leaving them alone now. And I just follow.
Okay.
I could definitely use a bit of a lie down after that.
I mean, could we have a leisurely walk to the next tree?
Are you asking for a short rest?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, as you walk along to the next tree, carrying some ore with you, those of you who will, you start to try and heal some of the wounds that you'd taken in the last battle. You sort of breathe in the forest air, you recover mentally, just sort of calm yourselves and ready yourselves for the next little chapter.
You don't add con on hit dice, do we?
Sorry?
We don't add con on hit dice, do we?
I thought you did.
Yeah.
Do we? Oh, we do.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So what this is allowing the players to do, for those of you who are confused, is restore some of their hit points so they're not quite as fragile. Evan.
Hi.
You're following the elf path. The Chewingas don't need this, but as you and the humans and the elves and the orc move through the forest, the trees, in fact, move themselves out of your way. They bend and twist their bark to create a path for you. The Chewingas just sort of move through. The forest creatures, these pine cone-like heads with little arms carrying the ore. But for you, the path is created and laid out ahead of you. And eventually you come to another clearing, almost exactly the same as the last. You can tell after about an hour and a half of walking that there are many of these particular trees dotted around Oak and Bramble, the forest that you're in, that preserve and protect and create the power that sort of lets the forest live as almost a sentient being that it does.
As I exit the last of the trees that have bent out of the way, I turn around and just bow after a moment of wondering how to convey that. Just
sure. It doesn't immediately move, but you get the feeling it's accepting of that.
Good. My thanks.
How are the Chewingas looking?
How are the Chewingas looking?
Yeah.
They
Less numerous.
they've started to recreate their pile on the edge of this clearing, just out of reach, and they're now steeling themselves. They look like they're ready to try and pop this lot of ore into this new tree.
Do we have a caravan, please?
You do have a caravan with you, yes,
Does
but
it
you've
have a horse on it?
yes.
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay then, why not? We'll say that Kerhim has brought the caravan along. That's how you are able to get the short rest.
Yes. So a horse can carry more than a human, or an orc, or an Azamar, or a Grung. So I think we should put the ore on the back of the horse, and then we'll send the horse in with some Chewanga on it to the tree, and then we can just unload from there.
Okay.
And is the tree a fey creature?
The tree is not technically fey, no.
Is it any one of the things that I can cast Protect from Evil and Good on?
It's a plant.
Can I do that with that spell?
I don't actually know.
Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fey, fiends, and undead.
So no.
Nah. Well, then the horse is going to have to chance it.
I would suggest, having seen the corruptive nature of this ore and just how dangerous it can be, that maybe we do not... We place the ore in the caravan rather than on a living creature.
Well,
And back up.
I
do
raise,
not know.
I raise my hand in an idea and I say, I am able to summon a steed of my own that is not living per se. It may take 10 minutes to do so. But we appear to have that kind of time required anyway, moving this quantity of ore.
Can it have pockets?
Of course. what kind of practical clothing doesn't have pockets?
Yeah, fair. So
That's too real.
It's a horse, it's male, right?
Not all horses can necessarily be male.
I would like to.
Stallions have pockets, mares do not.
I would indeed like to do that. I would like to get my. I'd like to cast Find Steed, and specifically, thank you. Blimey. I would like to cast Find Steed, which I believe takes 10 minutes, but I start summoning. Whatever actually steed, because it would be sent from Deriland, whatever that would send, and
But with
it would
pockets.
be with something practical with pockets or saddlebags. We're
Saddlebags,
talking about
yeah.
a proper saddle. It's not just a bare horse.
Horse pockets
it's got,
are saddlebags.
Yeah.
Give it flesh pockets and coward.
No.
It's not a sentence I ever expected to hear.
Yes, well, that's what D&D is good for, isn't it? Striding out of the forest at the end of this 10 minutes, you become aware of a very tall, beautiful white horse with blue fabric saddlebags over its side. The saddlebags are embroidered with this silvery thread in the shape of a star with a long point for its bottom edge. You recognise this as the symbol of your god, Deriland.
I go and walk towards it.
Sure. And as you nuzzle it, you notice that one of the saddlebags is actually bulging.
Ooh. I open the saddlebag.
Sure. You slip your hand inside, and there is a scroll in there. You want to break it open?
Yep.
You break the seal on the scroll. There is a message written in Celestial on the inside.
Is it that?
It is that.
Okay, I will read that, and I will keep that as far as I want to. I affectionately touch the horse's head again. We should load it up.
Does the horse have a name?
It's your horse, man.
Sky.
Sky. Lovely.
Is that S''KY?
S''KY. KYE.
If you like. Celestial does not have apostrophes, so.
Wow.
Are they
Just
crea-
blown.
That
You've
is
just
the really
blown.
weirdest burn that's ever occurred in D&D.
are they creations of the Infernal?
SKYE.
Thank you.
Evan and Sky.
Oh. Yeah.
Boo. Right.
That she will help with the loading of the ore, but also try and pull Evan to sort of one side away from the others.
What is?
I have concerns.
I begin to understand concerns, having been here not very long.
I am. Obviously, there's many complications with this ore, but I am not trusting that. Having witnessed the ore be used as a weapon, as Elathi spoke of earlier, that this would not encourage them.
To do so again.
Yes. And I would be tempted to make it known that such an act would be ill-advised with us present.
I nod and I turn to the NPCs.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
say, yes, I hope there was some discussion back in the town that this is a powerful weapon, or could be. I think we have seen yet again that is not a good idea.
Wysatris grasps her staff and says, "Do not think the cult defeated. I see in longer terms than you, Azimar. I see as your god would. They are not driven from this world. I can can see both sides of an argument. And a lassie, sort of emboldened by her mother's statement, goes, listen, if they come back, if the cults come back, and come back in numbers that we can't handle, why not use every weapon that we have?
As someone who has recently made very inadvisable choices, I feel I have a small justification for weighing in on this.
Please.
Go ahead. Feel free.
From what we saw from the agent of the god, Deriland, that visited us, it clearly said that this material is underlying the very binding nature of reality itself, that it forges together time and reality.
Wisatris steps forward and goes, yes, I heard that. Interesting.
I cannot help but feel that taking such material and causing it to blow up or become tainted can be anything more than extremely dangerous in the long run. Even if this cult grows in power, even if generations of us suffer under their depredations, the world will still endure.
Listen, if there's enough of this to be running through this entire world, then using a little of it to protect life on this planet shouldn't really have that much of an effect, should it? What's the point in being tied to time if we're all going to be enslaved by an evil god?
So a single spark in a forest is of no danger, then?
That's not what I said.
I feel that it was.
What I
even if
said
you did
was
not
a
hear
small fire within a forest may burn down things that endanger the whole.
And then also the forest. I've been in a fire. It doesn't distinguish. It just leaves ash. And then you can't grow anything for ages. And you have to move, and then people get lost in the move, and then you lose your family.
Oh. Yes, all right. I'm not saying that we use it constantly. I'm just saying maybe like if we to find their HQ or their wherever they are, and we could just use it to kill their leaders, just one sort of big explosion, and that's it, forever, that's it.
I understand.
One time.
I understand your want for use. This is clearly very powerful. Otherwise, it would not have been such an importance of the cult for so long.
The Chewinga are all stood
Yeah.
climbing up Sky's back and popping ore into it and climbing back down the other side.
I take a moment to watch that out
Sorry.
of the adorableness.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel this may. Sorry.
It's fine, your larynx has aged.
Yeah, it really has. I feel this may require further
Investigation.
But be wary. We have watched the last of those who investigated the ore die and be corrupted.
Sure, but that was...
is not a fate I want for you.
He was an apprentice. Nils would be much more able to handle this situation, surely.
And I was 20 but an hour ago.
So your point is that old people aren't necessarily wise? So why am I listening to you?
That's up to you. But clearly I speak some truth, otherwise you would not be sustaining this conversation. I'm not saying you are wrong, you could very well be the way that we win, but it could also be the way that all life, not just the cult, ends up like that, and I point to the diseased tree.
Sure.
Also, I thought I could use it safely. Turns out, not so wise.
This forest is older than anything or anyone that you have, and it got corrupted. There's no such thing as age or wisdom when it comes to this. It just takes everything.
Would it not be wise to try and trace... Wisatris gets lost in thought. She sort of slips into a brown study and stares into space. Sorry, I just had a thought. Excuse me. She wanders off to the edge of the clearing.
Is she gonna come back?
Oh, she does that. I'm sorry, it's, you get used to it after a few hundred years.
I used to do that when I was a child, and then they put bells on me.
Where are your bells now?
When I got older, they took them off.
Oh, good.
Really?
I look to see how Sky is getting on with being loaded.
She's quite loaded up now, and you can see the saddlebags are weighing her down.
I turn to the younger, more hot-headed one that we were talking
Elassie,
to.
yeah.
Elassie, and I say, your mother, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Your mother claims she sees things as Deriland does and takes the longer view. Deriland sees all. I have been by his side for some time too. It is always just this once. It always is used for one thing only. That is how the bow was born, and the sword. And I dare say worse things than that one day. I will offer you that thought.
I also feel as a commentary on hubris at the moment, again, feeling somewhat more qualified than previously. Saying, I see things as the gods do, it's not always a sign that one's best judgment is being
Well, I
employed.
didn't say that, my mum did.
Yes, and I was just
I don't know how
commenting
she
on-
sees things. Roll a persuasion check. Yeah, no, fair enough.
Can I lend any advantage with my...
Yeah.
Yeah, roll with
Thank you.
advantage.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was a really good speech as well.
Thank you. 24.
24. Elassie...
That was a real good speech.
It was a real good speech. Elassie sort of slumps, folds her arms, and without saying anything, walks away to the opposite side of the clearing
Chew on that.
than her mother.
Right.
Yeah, you seem to have sort of shut her down for now.
Is she teenaged for an elf?
Yeah, she's meant to
Me
be sort of
asking.
early 20s.
Explains a lot.
I wanted to give a boost to some Chewingas to get them up on the steed.
Yeah.
So, because we're going to have to send them in
Yes.
with the steed. In fact, can I put them in the saddlebags?
This is adorable and horrible.
Yeah, okay.
And
There's not much room left in the
no,
saddlebags,
I'll
so you
clear
can
some
probably get
space
4 in.
and be like, be careful, it's corruptive.
They're already carrying it.
Okay, no, you're fine. Evan,
Yes.
you did a thing earlier where you glowed, and then it was
I place my hands on the horse and cast Sanctuary.
yeah, that was the one.
But that's what I do, yes.
Yes.
Do we believe we're going to need to fight this tree as well?
Roll an inside check.
19.
The tree, again, is feeling kind of selfish. You can see that as you're looking at it, its bark is tense, and it begins to sort of move to close any crevices that it can. But you also get the impression that you see beyond the bark, and you can see the spark of life running through it. And for a second, your god grants you the vision to see how you might aid the tree in the purification process.
I see.
As you watch the spark of life, this bright light running through the trunk, down the roots, you can see it spreading out into the
The
forest.
rest of it, yes.
And you can see how that energy, as you look down your arm and your chest, is similar to your own. The tree is pure. You are pure. You glance over at the ore. There is no spark there. But perhaps there could be.
Of course. I get on the horse.
Okay. You mount Sky. You've never seen Sky before. Sky is not trained, and yet Sky is working perfectly in sync with you.
Was that a yes or a no on the whole tree fighting issue?
If this goes wrong, we at least know that what we did before works. Ideally, you will not have to do that again.
We will not have to do it again.
And I start.
Sure. You G Sky into walking towards the tree. And come up side by side with it. The Chewingas spring into action and begin to shovel the ore as quickly as possible into the tree, but it's beginning to move a bough to the side to try and sweep them away.
I raise both my hands and try and make eye contact.
Eye
with
contact
this.
with the tree, yeah, sure.
Trying to get it to reveal its face as the other one did.
Yep.
Wait!
It stops. Just as the bough passes you, and from your elevated position on Sky, can easily sort of reach out and touch it. The bark starting to flake slightly at the sides as the ore is shoveled into it.
This... I too know what it is to exist for a long time and then only for a fleeting moment find purpose. We met your friend. Things did not end as well as they could. And we are sorry for that, all of us. But if you are connected to your friends, are you not? You can save all of them from this. The whole forest. The whole world. All you'll need to do is let me take your hand.
And it remains still, as trees are wont to do.
No one tree is worth the whole forest. I'm sure you understand that. We approached your friend badly. We were too hot, too quick. It did not. I would like to make amends for that, and I'm prepared to help you in a way that we could have helped then. You know who I embody on this plane? I am a servant of Deriland. I see you've heard of him. Are you afraid? So am I. So are they. And so are our little friends here.
The Chewinga's hopping up and down.
I think many people here have been afraid for a very long time. I think we can make some of them feel a little better. I think that's probably why you and I are here now in this moment.
The bough moves slightly closer to you, and the branches gently stroke your arm.
I get off Sky.
Yep.
And stand underneath the bough and take the saddlebags off Sky, and then with a pat on her neck, dismiss her. So she's no longer here.
Sky gallops off into the forest, and in a second it's like she was never there at all.
I look around the clearing. I look at the two thinking elves and sort of hope for the best there. I look at Sandor.
What? Yes? What?
I forgive you for your quickness.
Oh, how very kind of you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I look at Fidget and say, You brought me to my feet again. Thus this could not have happened without you, sir. Thank you. And good luck. You did the same. Seems a lot longer ago now. It may seem a lifetime ago now. Keep doing that.
And you.
I'm about to.
Thank you.
As you reach your hand out, there is a bright light. None of you can watch any longer. You see yourself dissolve at the very edges of your fingers, becoming the same spark of energy that you saw running through the tree. And as that energy touches the tree, it heals and it rejuvenates, and you can feel the evil within this ore. It saps into your very being. It takes a lot of strength. Roll a religion check for me. Ooh. 6. You can feel that this evil will overwhelm you, but you have made the decision now. As your arm dissolves into light and your chest begins to leave you, you know that this is the end, and that this is the purpose that Deriland has brought you into existence for. And then suddenly your energy is everywhere. You are no longer Evan in one place. You are the forest. It's not like you travelled, but you are now all of Oak and Bramble, omnipresent, sapping away the evil as your essence turns dimmer and you fade, leaving Crystal behind. Who knows how long this takes? In the state you're in, it could have been centuries. But Deriland is pleased. This you know.
That's all I need.
The three of you watch as the bright light turns back down to nothing, and Evan has gone. It was almost like she was never there at all. But the tree is looking a lot healthier. The bark no longer desiccated, the leaves a little bit more lush, and the boughs seem to stand up straighter as you watch.
I'm glad that worked. It would have been very anticlimactic if nothing had happened after she said all of that. That would have been dreadfully embarrassing.
How do the Chwingas happy?
Yeah, the Chwingas look onto the tree and quite happily are moving back and forth from the saddlebags, just shoveling the ore in, and the tree doesn't seem to mind anymore. The Chwingas are carrying on like it's everyday business.
That'll start helping
I'm assuming
them.
Sky has also vanished at this
Sky's gone.
Yeah.
Sky was dismissed by Evan into the forest.
Look down at my still-aged self and go, oh well.
I think that she would take a knee, place their hand on the bark of the tree, and cast a Cure Wounds, just for the warmth of the energy and the beat.
Oh. Sure. Do you want to roll?
I mean,
Or does it not matter?
I don't think it really matters.
No, I don't think it
won't-
does either.
Well, it's a 1, so yeah, you're really welcome.
The perhaps Evan felt the thump of energy that you sent out from your arm, which you had revived her with so many times in the past.
Day or two.
So many times.
So many times.
It's become a connection between the two of you.
Yeah.
But perhaps she didn't. You don't know.
In fact, she will sort of internally make a small prayer to Deriland as best that they can, and say aloud, Evan, your work is not forgotten. And get up and go and find all the elves
Yep.
and see what they're doing.
So Elassian and Wisatris are being moody off in the corners. Kerhim is watching on, not really aware of what's just happened, but Kerhim is quite an old druid and understands that a powerful ritual just took place. And he nods at you and says, I would like to thank your friend if she was still present. But I feel like she has become the forest now. As all of us do at some point.
I do not feel she would need thanks, but this ore is not worth everyone dying for.
No, quite so. And I would like to apologise Sandor, Thatchy, for accidentally stealing some of your years. Not that it was entirely my fault, I feel somewhat responsible.
And I also apologise for helping things along there a little bit at the end. Although I think I took most of the brunt of it myself, I feel. But oh well. I would say live and learn, but probably not for that much longer at this rate.
I wouldn't count yourself out. I think you've still got a good couple of decades in you.
Yes,
Depending
probably.
on how the war goes, of course.
Just keep an eye on your cholesterol.
My what? Must be a ranger thing.
Thatchy, I cannot lie. Orc lives are shorter than humans. But I still think you have at least a decade in you. My wife would know more. She's more of the long-term planner.
I would not want to know.
I can respect that.
At least this way I'll get an entry in the family annals of poorly advised research.
You have indeed added to the knowledge of this ore. Although much more research is required. Fidget, what you doing?
She's sort of just sitting with the chewingers. I'm sort of just kind of kneeling down by the tree and like helping it kind of stuff them in, kind of scratching them behind the ears. If pine cones had ears, I don't know. And just sort of talking to them. She's spent quite a lot of time with people now.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like them very much.
No.
Because they're quite chaotic. And they do things like leave and die, and she doesn't like that. So she is probably just going to stay here. And then maybe, once everything's calmed down a bit and the chorus is a bit quieter, she might go and see if she can find the grungs.
Okay. So, Kehim turns back to the two of you and says, "It looks like Fidget is happy, but I'm willing to lead the two of you to the edge of the forest if you are ready to leave."
Indeed. Is there some way to raise some kind of, I don't know if shrine is the right word, or memorial? Or
Memorial?
something? Yes, that would be the better term. I would want something that fitted in with the natural order here, I suppose.
Yes. Yes, I think that's appropriate. Kehim goes over to the tree, near one of its roots, and says, "Sandor, you've proven yourself quite the sorcerer. You don't mind lending me a hand?"
Of course. It's going to take a while to get used to.
Which would you prefer, Arcana or Religion?
I'm going to go with Arcana.
I thought you might.
Of course, the gods of dice are the ones who truly know. Natural one.
Natural
had
one.
to be
I'm going to
it.
just try not to interfere as best I can.
Sure, you go over and trying to lend a hand, but you do two different schools of magic.
Yeah.
He's doing something divine. You never really understood divine magic. You never really looked into it that much, but you're offering support, moral support.
I'm here for the moral support.
As Kehim goes down to one knee and begins to sculpt the wood next to the bottom of the tree. When he is finished, a life-size statue of Evan is in place. Not fully detailed, not the most beautiful, not lifelike, but it is certainly a memorial. You can make out the beginnings of her wings as they meld into the tree, and you can definitely at least make out her face and her spear in her right hand? Left hand, my apologies. See, I'd watched you do it all this time, and I was like, no, he uses his left hand. So the spear in her left hand, as she has now both literally and physically become part of the tree.
Good.
What think you of this?
It seems a marvellous mix between Evan's form and the natural presence. I'm sure she would appreciate such.
I thought it appropriate. Shall we leave?
Indeed. I'm going to put a hand on my dagger and resist the urge to carve my initials into the base. But good.
Ilassi, come.
Before we go, I don't know whether it will have been enough time, but because of Evan's essence effectively being brought into this tree, I want to see if there is any of that refined or even one piece that can be taken back to research.
Roll an investigation check.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, that's not great. 13.
It's very small, but there is a piece. About an inch long. You can feel the power throbbing through it as you pick it up. Very small, but Nils will be happy with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna hide it and put it in my stuff so that others
Any
don't
chance to spot that
necessarily know.
happening?
Yeah, roll a perception check. Are you trying
Yeah,
to...
I'm trying to put intense.
Sleight of hand then.
7, so this shouldn't be hard.
Ooh, 8.
My eyes aren't what they used to be.
Yeah, mine either. My arthritic hands trying to hide.
Quite a con.
Kehim turns his face to you, and you can feel his eyes cutting through you. He goes, learn from it.
We shall. It is time to go.
Somehow the carts seem a lot more bumpy, isn't it?
As the yellow and red filigree caravan leaves the clearing, any final words of goodbye, Fidget?
As I leave, I'm like, come back and visit! But only once you've managed to save everything, because you've actually done quite a lot of damage to the tree.
Actually, will go up and extend their arm to Fidget. And hand over one of their arrows.
I have them. I think better than yours, actually.
Actually will take their arrow back, put it back on the wall.
No. And I will give her one of my ribbons.
Okay. And as the caravan leaves the edge of the forest, you both look up to the sky, and where it was pink tinged, you swear it's like a reverse sunset. You swear you can see patches of blue begin to crack through the sky. You haven't seen blue sky in over 5 years. But down across to the west, clouds still roll, and the sky tinged crimson reminds you the war is not yet over.
What we need is a few more dozen of those Azamar and we should be set.
And that is where we're going to have to leave today's sessions of Adventurers Wanted. So... Thank you very much for coming. I know the 4 of you in this room have heard all of this gumph before, but if you did enjoy, please do spread the word about the show on the social medias and face-to-face. On Twitter, we're at Adventurers250, which is where Nay has been chronicling the entire thing in a microblog format. And everywhere else, we're Adventurers Wanted, including out on twitch.tv. Hello, Twitch stream. Hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, we also have a Patreon. If you really enjoyed what we were doing here, you can throw us some of your hard-earned cash. There's a donate button on the website. We do this every month in London, as well as free play events to try and bring D&D to a wider audience, show people it's not all about maths. Hey, Tom.
Yeah.
Just before we go then, I'll throw once more over to our players to let them advertise something to you in exchange for their time. Tom?
Everyone in this room has heard my Sea Lion Press spiel several times now, but I will actually just reiterate that Adventurers Wanted does...
There's new people on the stream.
There's new people on the
It's fine,
stream.
I've got it
in that
covered.
case. Oh, you're going to do Sea
Yeah,
Lion Press,
I'm
thank
gonna
you. Well, and I will briefly then reiterate that Adventurers Wanted in London is very, very good as well, and I would strongly recommend attending that for any of you who are in a position to do that, and also watching that on Twitch, which you can also do when it's up and running. It's really huge amounts of fun, and different to this, different storyline, but interweaving.
Is it a different storyline?
It's interweaving in very. It's a different. I would say different storyline, same universe. That's right. But yes, but yeah, are you genuinely going to do Sea Lion Press?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, and thank you for everyone. This was my last session, so thank you very much, everyone who's been.
Tom and I have thus far spent, what, is it 8 hours? No,
we've done-
it's 8
it's
hours,
at
I
least 7,
think,
yeah,
of regular playing together. So I don't know whether any of you have ever wondered, have ever thought about what may happen if Hitler had won the war. But if it's something that you have considered, then I would say that you should check out and chat with Tom, probably on one of the social medias that are existing, as Tom runs Sea Lion Press, that looks at alternative history, which is a Venn diagram of interest for D&D. Yeah, and I just want to say, well done, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to play with you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Vic?
So I've been using my time to plug a documentary which I have worked on, which is on iPlayer, called Japan's Secret Shame. However, as I come to my last hour, I would also like to remind people that Howl's Moving Castle was actually based on a book by Daniel Wynne-Jones.
This is level of
which
nerd right now.
nobody seems to have read, but it's one of the best books ever written, and it is not actually originally an anime. It is from a Welsh writer in the 1980s, and you should read that.
What's it called?
Howl's Moving Castle.
Oh, Howl's Moving Castle,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Right.
Richard?
I'm just here playing still, but it's been marvellous fun. Thank you.
Fantastic. It's been lovely having you as well. So, last thing, of course, is just to remind you that you can come and play, like Vic and Richard have done. To buy, if you want to do that, you can buy player tickets in the Suite box office, or if you're online, check out the Suite venues website. Limited availability, much better midweek than weekend currently. Thank you very much. Please do give a round of applause once again to our marvellous players.